hi. What's your name?
My name is Marcia.
Hi, Marcia. I almost erased you. I was gonna draw a car.
I love cars.
You do? But you're a...
A girl? Whoever made the rule that girls can't like cars?
Well, I don't know.
I want to be a racing driver.
A racing driver? Well, we can make that happen.
Blonde Bullet, a comic book about a young woman trying to get started in racing. Now available on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for round 4 of the eFormulaSeries. This series runs the Formula Renault 3.5, which just had an update in tire model that most drivers seem to be feeling pretty good about. They get a little bit more grip and a car that is therefore less edgy. In this 4th round, we will be going mid-season in the 8-race series first season. Let's take a look at the place of business, the world-famous Motor Speedway, and the road course in particular. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a racing circuit located in Speedway, Indiana, United States. It is the home of the Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard 400. From 2000 to 2007, the Speedway hosted the Formula One United States Grand Prix, and from 2008 to 2015, the MotoGP. A modern FIA Grade 1 infield road course was completed in 2000. It is 0.192 kilometers long and has 13 turns. In 2008 and again in 2014, the road course layout was modified to accommodate motorcycle racing as well as to improve competition. The garage area is known as Gasoline Alley. The track is nicknamed the Brickyard, a yard of bricks at the start-finish line with the bricks of the original track reminds us of the origin of the Speedway. Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Welcome to eFormulaSeries. And we're back here live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where the open qualifying session for the fourth race of the season has just started. We don't have any lap times in yet, but there's quite a few drivers out on the track already. There you have Danny Hoekstra in the number 91. And Manuel Domingo, one of the quickest drivers in practice, in the number 9 car. They're out there trying to get their lap times in. Open qualifying, as opposed to what iRacing does in official races, means that everybody is on the track at the same time, just like a practice session, and their best times are going to put them on the grid somewhere. So we're expecting lap times to be just underneath 1:16 for the top guys. We're going to be doing 42 laps here tonight. In the race, the drivers will have a mandatory pit stop. The fuel capacity for these cars has been tuned down to 50%, so the 110-liter fuel capacity is now down to 55, and that means that it is impossible for them to do a 42-lap race without a fuel stop. They can use as many sets of tires as they please. Obviously, those guys are probably not going to need more than 2. The tires should be well enough to last a full fuel stint. And as said before, the iRacing has updated the tire model a little bit for these cars. They were extremely difficult and edgy to drive, and iRacing has updated the tire model with a little bit more grip. And it shows in the practice session, it showed that guys are just having a little bit less of a hard time to keep this thing on the road. And we believe that that's a good thing for the competition. It looks like we currently have 24 drivers entering this race, so a good, nice full field here in Indianapolis. Not for nothing, they call it the capital of racing. Of course, made famous by the Indianapolis 500 oval race. And then, as you heard in the intro, Formula One has driven here quite some time. The layout that we are currently running is the old Formula One layout. The updates of the track that the introduction video talked about have not been implemented on iRacing's version of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Currently quickest in practice in qualifying is Fabio Do Carmo, and he decides to pay us a little visit here. The second man in qualifying, and it's even better than I expected. There are running times in the 1:14.6 is the current pole time for Fabio Do Carmo as he goes back out to try again. They have unlimited laps, as many as they can do in the 15-minute session. 15 minutes obviously not being a whole lot, but they have unlimited laps at their disposal, as much as they can run. We see Paul Ilbrink here with a 1:14.70, currently in second position. And let's bring up some more information on these guys. The sector times here for Ilbrink as they compare to third place driver Javier Alvarez. Alvarez currently being the leader in the championship standings. And as we are still early in qualifying, let's pull those point standings up here real quickly for you. There you see them. Javier Alvarez is leading the championship standings with 46 points. Please note that a win brings every driver 20 points. The second place will bring him 16 points. Third place will bring him 14 points, and then it's 12, 10, and then from 10 down below, it's just 1 point off per place as you go down the list. So the first 12 drivers will score more than 1 point, and everybody else behind 12th place and further down will score at least 1 point for trying. So Javier Alvarez looking at the top here with 46 points, Fabio Do Carmo 40 points, Paul Ilbrink 40 points. Those 40 points of Ilbrink were accumulated with 2 wins in his first 2 starts in race number 2 and 3. Lubomir Moric is fourth with 38 points. Then it's Domingo, the winner of the first race, with 25 points. Cedric Buell, 18. Canovas, 18. Augusto, his teammate, 17. Then it's Danny Hoekstra, the sole driver of the Tulip Racing team, currently 15 points. And the 10th place is for Patrick Letouvet. So that gives you an idea what we're battling for today. Let's go back out here and check on those guys, their sector times and their lap times. We're looking at Paul Ilbrink currently running in the second position. And let's go check further down. We have his teammate Manuel Domingo, who unfortunately missed last race. He is back here today at Indianapolis, winner of the first race at Barber Motorsports Park, and he is currently in the third position there. And meanwhile, we see that Do Carmo has set the bar even higher with a 1:14.49, an amazingly fast lap here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. Championship leader Javier Alvarez currently in the fourth position with a 1:15.08, and Lubomir Moric, he is currently in the fifth position with a 1:15.23. Then it's Cedric Buell, 1:15.2. Reinaldo Augusto, also one of the quicker drivers in the first three races, with a 1:15.38. Luke Groom, who was very quick in practice before we got started with qualifying here, is currently shown in 8th with a 1:15.59, and I'm pretty sure he can still get something off of there. Patrick Letouvet, he is in the 9th position, 1:15.78. Then it's Felipe Pinheiro. There you see him coming. He is in 10th currently, and it looks like our Dutch friend Danny Hoekstra is in 12th position. We have Sam Winton currently not on track. We have Kevin Shine in 14th. We have Aaron Corey in the 15th position with a 1:17.7. Then it's Hayren in 16th and Justino in 17th with a 1:19.48. So we have still some drivers that have not yet posted a time, David Gilt being one of them. And Gregoire Richet also not yet posted a time. Atish Debising is still seemingly in the pit or in the garage. Samuel Augsburger back again. James Mallow still in the garage. And Bruno Canovas still in the garage. So hopefully they can bring him back out here. Do Carmo still in the lead with a 1:14.49. 9 minutes behind our belt here in the qualifying session. As said, 15 minutes. So we have just over 5 minutes to go. And the guys in the back there, the series does have a starting qualifying limit of 26, but we have 24 guys on track, so they don't have to worry about being sent home tonight. That is always a good thing. And it looks like Danny Hoekstra has been pushed further down the order here in 13th. And let's go check on David Gilt if he has had a chance to put down a lap yet. We expect him to be right around in the middle of the pack as well. And it looks like we still have Debising, Augsburger, Mallow, and Canovas not having posted a time. I hope they'll not forfeit the race. Look at, it's very busy on track here right now. 24 cars in the race. And that means that open qualifying brings its own challenges here. That is David Gilt coming up to the back of, that would be Ilbrink in front of him. And it's going to be a tough deal here for these guys. Oh, David Gilt gets it wrong coming off that turn there. Just a little bit too harsh on the gas. There's some different ideas among the drivers about setups. With the long straightaway, this part here, where we use the oval track of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, there are some guys that some of them are opting for higher downforce, and some of them are opting for lower downforce. The higher downforce obviously gives these guys enormous top speed here at the end of the straightaway before breaking into turn one. And but with the lower downforce, they might be struggling a little bit here in the curvy section of the track, especially here on the infield section. The turns are sweeping, and some of them are actually mid-speed corners where you really want your downforce. The slowest corners you don't really care that much, and you can see that Dave Guild is having a little bit of trouble bringing that car around these tighter mid-speed turns. Then there's another short straightaway where less downforce would obviously help you, but it's not long enough to really make that much of a difference. So the difference in philosophy and the difference in setup here could be making all the difference in the race. We currently have 20 drivers that have posted a time, and the number 98 you're looking at, Dave Guild, is not among them yet. And a little bit puzzled why his number there says 100, because his number should be 98, but we'll get that all figured out, I'm sure. And let's see if he posted a time here. Yes, he did, and he pushes himself up into 14th position with a 1:16.4. That is a pretty respectable time. Hoekstra by now has pushed himself back up into the 4th position, right behind Luke Groom and Reinaldo Augusto, who has a little bit of an off here. Let's go see if we can figure out what happened. He's actually, he's coming up on the, I think that's Alvarez that had a little off there, and basically just got in the way of the driver. He's trying to make way for Luke Groom, and that's being misunderstood there. They both go through the sandbox there, and then it is Augusto coming up on the back of Alvarez there. A misunderstanding between these drivers. They were trying to get out of the way, and it didn't work out the way they had hoped to. So let's bring in the picture here Fabio Do Carmo, the quickest guy. It is Paul Ilbrink, the winner of the last 2 races, that is second in the time standings here. Let's go see if we can find Paul Ilbrink. There you have him in the red car here, the number 16 car, Dutch native, very good driver. Always does well on the official races at iRacing as well. And as you know, the eFormulaSeries kind of follows that schedule. We race every other week, but we race the same track as the guys will be racing in the official series, so they can go back and forth between them and not lose too much time setting up their cars and changing setups all the time. We have another problem there for Alvarez. Let's bring that back for you real quick. That is on the first part of the infield section. He gets on the curbs and he turns it around, and it looks like he's having a little bit of trouble here in the final stages of the qualifying sessions. 14 minutes, 30 seconds, last half minute ticking away here. Let's go back and check on Ilbrink here, see if he can push himself onto that pole position. For now, he cannot. His last time was a 1:14.83. And you can see the sectors being there in the white. That means he's not improving on his own sector times on the track here. So it looks like Cedric Beal just jumped into the 3rd spot here with a 1:14.91, his personal best time with 2 personal best sectors here, pushing himself into in front of Manuel Domingo. And the qualifying has officially ended. The drivers that are still running a lap can finish their lap, and that would be this guy here, Paul Ilbrink. He is on the final part of his lap. He gets to finish that lap, and the time he sets will count. So we get a few extra minutes for people to finish their lap, and that'll be Paul's final chance to put it on pole position. And it doesn't look like he does that. In fact, it was a 1:15.28, so he is not going to be on pole position here today. It'll be Fabio Do Carmo, and here we see Lubomir Moric bringing it home with a final 1:15.09. That was his best lap, and it pushes him up into 6th position. And the final car out on track looks to be Luciano Costa, and he did not improve his lap time either. So there we have it, folks. Qualifying is in the books. We will be ready to go to the race here instantly, and we will be going around this track here 42 times. The race is either 42 laps or 65 minutes, whichever comes first. And obviously, the eFormulaSeries organizers have tried to put it in such a way that 42 laps should be doable in about 50 to 55 minutes. If nothing serious happens that would slow the cars down. We do not have full course yellows in these races. All right, so let's bring her back up here to the grid. We see Fabio Do Carmo on the pole position in front of, alongside, I should say, Paul Ilbrink on the outside there. On the second row, it will be Cedric Biel and Manuel Domingo. Then it will be Javier Alvarez and Lubomir Moric, both teammates. On the third row, Reinaldo Augusto and Luciano Costa. On the fourth row, Letouvet and Pinheiro on the fifth row, Groom and Hoekstra on the sixth row. Then we have Zabolks and Gild on the seventh row, Winton and Shine. Then it's Corey and Richette, Heiren and Guyato. It's Gustino and Debising, and Mallow and Samuel Augsberger. I don't believe that Samuel put in a qualifying time. No, he did not. So that's the reason you will see him down there in the final position. All right, we're getting ready to get going here. You'll soon see the we have to fix something really quickly here. You will be seeing the you'll be seeing the start lights come into your picture. And there we have scoring back up. The final cars getting on the grid. It looks like Paul Ilbrink, we're waiting on him. They have about 2 minutes, I believe, to get onto the grid. And some of them wait for a little bit, and that's okay with me. What gives me a little bit more time to get through it. There you have the lights coming into your picture. They'll be going red, and as soon as they all go out, we will be racing. There we go. We are racing. And it looks like Do Carmo is nosing ahead, coming to the inside, taking a defensive line into turn one there. And Ilbrink shoots in the lead there under braking. Oh no, and it's Do Carmo getting it wrong there in the first turn. Oh my gosh, that is very unfortunate for him. Let's see what happens here. He just loses it. There you have the start again. Ilbrink under braking, shoots ahead there. And I guess it takes Do Carmo by surprise a little bit. He's not on the racing line as he gets on the gas, and he gets it all wrong. And that gives Paul Ilbrink the lead of the race as we get started here in Indianapolis. And he's already 1.5 seconds ahead of his teammate Manuel Domingo here in the second spot. The two red cars in the lead. Then it's Cedric Biel and Javier Alvarez in the fourth position, Reinaldo Augusto in fifth, it's Moric in sixth, it's Letouvet in seventh, it's Costa in eighth, it's Danny Hoekstra starting good here up in the ninth position, and Luke Groom in the 10th spot. And we can go check out further back. There's a little bit of movement here. Sam Winton already in trouble here. Heiren already been in trouble. Let's go see if we can find what's going on. And it looks like Heiren, not sure what happened to him. Doesn't seem to be the problem here. We have Sabolks getting in trouble, and we have Hoekstra in trouble. Let's go bring back what happened here. This is the the main straightaway. We're going into turn one. It's pretty tight there. Hoekstra takes a wide angle, and he kind of overshoots the turn there, and he gets on track in front of Zabalks and takes him with him. I believe that was Zabalks. I'm not sure if that was or not. And let me see here. That is Corey. Unfortunate for Hoekstra. Oh, and there we have another incident there for him. What is happening here? As he gets going after the first incident, it looks like he just misses his braking points. Maybe the front wing is damaged and he has no pressure on these front wheels. It's a little hard to tell from this angle. No, the car looks okay. He backs it up and he's going to have to restart himself there, trying to get back underway. Meanwhile, we still have Ilbrink in the lead. Looks like Manuel Domingo has posted the quickest lap time there in second position, a 1:15.89, and right behind Domingo we see pressure mounting up there. That's Cedric Bill, and that is Alvarez in fourth, it's Augusto in fifth, and it's Costa in sixth with Le Touvet right behind him. There you see these guys. Luke Groom in 8th position now with Pinheiro right behind him. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Morich in 10th. Dave Gild has worked his way back up to the 11th spot already. He has gained 2 places, and it looks like we have an issue for his teammate Kevin Shine, who gets it wrong under braking here, and I believe that's turn 5. He gets it wrong, turns it around. Luckily, he doesn't hit anything, so he can keep going. Ilbrink pulling away from his teammate Domingo, it looks like. And let's take a look back from Domingo's car. There you're looking at Cedric Biel and Javier Alvarez in pursuit on the main straightaway here in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, finishing up another lap and going into lap number 4. That is Manuel Domingo right behind his teammate there in second position. So right now it looks like Domingo is the quicker one of the two. Ilbrink is maybe half a second slower this last lap. And actually for both drivers, the last lap was their quickest lap so far. So let's ride along with Domingo here for just a minute as he is closing in on his teammate. And obviously, I'm not sure if there's any team orders or agreements between these drivers, but obviously they're not going to make life too hard for each other. They're both looking to score well in the team championship, and obviously both of them want to take away a win. That speaks for itself, but they're not going to fight each other too hard in a sense that they would risk taking each other out. As you can see, they take the curbs and cut the corners there where iRacing will allow them to. As if you go off too far, you get either a slowdown penalty or an incident point, and the incident points for this race, I believe, are limited to 20. As you're riding along with Domingo here, you see the other cars in pursuit there. It looks like Alvarez has passed Cedric Biel. We missed that, unfortunately. Let's see if we can find that back. That's already happened. Yep, that's too far back. It's already happened. Alvarez picks up third position. He is currently the leader in the championship. He needs good finishes to stay there. The last 2 races, Ilbrink has been too much for him as well, so he needs good finishes, and he's been on the podium the last race for sure. I remember talking to him, so he needs another good finish here, and hopefully he can catch up with the guys in front of him. If we look at the lap times, both the Ilbrink and Domingo, the Radicals Online Track Racers, are both currently the only drivers going under the 1:16 mark, and they're both in the 1:15.7 with only 0.08 of a second between these guys, so they're showing these guys how it's done. Looks like Kevin had another incident here. Let's go take a look at what's going on. He is coming off the main straightaway into turn 1. And it looks like he gets that curb underneath the bottom of the car, and that turns him around, unfortunately. You can use the curbs with the wheels, but you want to make sure that the curb is not scraping the bottom, because basically what you're doing then is lifting up your car, your your rear wheels will be lifted up from the ground and you have no grips, and we saw that happening to Kevin. And it looks like Danny Hoekstra is no longer in the race, unfortunately. That is too bad. Paul Ilbrink here in the leading position. Let's bring him back here. There he is, still ahead of Manuel Domingo. And we can try and see if we can find Danny real quickly here and see what happened to him. And to be honest with you, I don't even see him here at all. Looks like he has left, and he is not near his microphone, so we can't ask him what happened. It looks like Philip Pinheiro has opted to go into the pits here. He is the first taker on pit road, I believe. And he's coming back right here in front of the leaders, Paul Ilbrink and Manuel Domingo. He gives them room to go by. That's the way they want it in this series. In this series, the blue flag means make room if you can safely do so, and he definitely does so. Let's go check back on Javier Alvarez here, and it looks like David is in trouble here. Ooh, that's it. Once again, coming into turn one here. Let's see what happens to him. Ooh, he just misses his braking points, overshoots the corner, uses the grass to just kind of get it going in the right direction, and he saves it from bigger trouble. All right, so we were trying to check on Javier Alvarez here in the third position. He has Cedric Bill there right behind him. There you see him. Cedric Bill and Reinaldo Augusto are chasing down Javier Alvarez. And Fabio Do Carmo, let's go check on this gentleman, the pole sitter. The pole sitter. He is spun out in turn number one, and he's already back up to the ninth position. We saw him drop back to somewhere around, 17, 18, the tail end of the field. He has already worked his way back up to the ninth position, running lap times of 1:15.8. So he is definitely not giving up on his race here today. He is blazingly fast, and it looks like he is gaining on Lubomir Moric in 8th position. All right, so let's check back on these leaders here. It's Ilbrink and Domingo kind of swapping spots as far as being the quickest guy on the track. It is now Ilbrink with a 1:15.5, and it's Domingo with a 1:16.1, but they're still in the lead, and they have about 3.5 seconds on Javier Alvarez here in the third position. And then there is about a half a second between Alvarez and Cedric Bill. And the third car you see in the picture there, that is the Reinaldo Augusto in the number 2 car. Oops, wrong car. There you have him. That's Reinaldo Augusto, and he's about 6/10, obviously on the faster part of the track. It stretches out a little bit, and then under braking in turn one will come back together a little bit. You see those guys trying to stay in the same line as the guy in front of him, trying to catch that draft on the main straightaway. They have a DRS system that they can use 10 times. That DRS system, it is a little bit hard to see on these cars, but if you look at the rear wing flap, the bottom flap can be brought up a little bit, and that changes the airflow over the rear wing, giving them a little bit of extra speed. And unfortunately, we have no way of knowing when exactly they use it. We cannot see that. But they have 10 times. It's kind of like a push-to-pass button. They have 10 times. It doesn't influence the engine. It's just basically that difference in how the flap is situated on that wing, changing the airflow a little bit. You're looking at Javier Alvarez in third position in hot pursuit of Domingo and Ilbrink. The deficit is 3.3 now. So that tells me that Alvarez is really not gaining all that much. Bill is still in fourth, Augusto still in fifth, and it's Luciano Costo a little bit further back. He's got about 3 seconds on deficit on Augusto, and he's got 2.2 seconds on Letouvet. Moric in 8th, Do Carmo in 9th, as said, and he is working his way around Moric there. No, that's Moritz. Excuse me, that is Moritz working his way around Le Touvet. So that is also for position. Moritz picking up the 7th position from Patrick Le Touvet. And it's De Carmo that's behind there. And he looks to be like he's quicker than the guys in front of him. So let's check that out. There you're riding along with Fabio De Carmo currently. We can check their lap times. Let me see here. There you have their lap times, De Carmo, and that's the difference between De Carmo and the guy behind him. That's David Gilt in 10th position. That's not really what I wanted to see. De Carmo here right behind Patrick Le Touvet on the final section of the infield part of the road course. And there you see him having a pretty good exit there, but there's no way to get around him just yet. And if we take a look at the rear wing here, we might be able to see him use that DRS. No, he's doing it without it, and it looks like Le Touvet is tugging in right there behind him, trying to do something in turn 1. There you have him coming side by side with De Carmo on the inside, and it looks like De Carmo picks up that 8th position there from Le Touvet. Now he's going to go after Lubomir Moritz in front of him there. There you see him. Taking a wide exit here and then back down to 2nd gear for the left-hander. Then we're going to go right, and then we'll have a short straightaway that brings us to the final part of the infield section. Late on the brakes here, 3rd gear into this left-hander. Then through the right-hander, down to 2nd gear in that little turn here. Then it's a right-hander that'll bring us back to the oval part of the track. On the left side, you see the administrative building of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And if you could look to the right there, you can see the building right behind the logo. That's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. And if you're ever there, I highly recommend it. There you go, De Carmo blasting past Moritz. I'm fairly sure he did that with that wing flap. Moritz right behind him there into turn 1, and it looks like Moritz is thinking the better of it. He knows he is being passed here. He can't counter-attack there in turn 1. Turn 1 is actually pretty tight. If you look at it, the curves that they have made there on the inside basically narrow that first turn down to a 1-lane turn. Let's go and check on your leader here. It's Paul Ilbrink still in front. He's in front of Manuel Domingo by almost 2 seconds now. And it's Alvarez that does seem to be gaining a little bit. The lap times of the leading duo, Ilbrink and Domingo, are currently up over the 1:16 mark, and Alvarez seems to be gaining a little bit. The distance was 3.1, 3.2 a while back, and it's 2.6 now. So we're going to keep an eye on Javier Alvarez there in 3rd position, trying his best to close the gap to Manuel Domingo. Cedric Biel is about 2.3 seconds behind Alvarez, and he's got Reinaldo Augusto right there on his tail. And it looks like Bill is taking a defensive line here. He can change his line once like he does there. He cannot go back in front of Augusto. That would be considered blocking in the eFormulaSeries. Lap 13 of 42. Not quite halfway yet. Getting close to 1/3 distance. We will probably see pit stops a little bit past halfway. The 50% fuel limit, the 55 liters, will probably take them right around 60%, 65% of the race distance. That's what it usually does. All right, so let's go check on Fabio De Carmo, who is now in 7th and trying to walk away from Moritz. He's got 9/10 of a second on him as we speak, and he is going after Costa in 6th position, and I'm still not counting out De Carmo out for a good finish here, despite his little issue on turn 1, lap 1. He was just offline there, got probably a little bit surprised by Ilbrink's move. Ilbrink took him purely under braking into turn 1 on cold tires, and I will say that was a pretty bold move, but he made it stick. Let's go check on Dave Guild, who is still in 10th position, hanging on. And he is behind Patrick Letouvet by about 9 seconds. There you have David coming down towards turn 1 here. The car that you see there is a back marker, and we can try to find out who that is. That is Aaron Corey in the number 3 car. As said, Danny Hoekstra has abandoned the race this time. Unfortunately, too many incidents, I guess. 24 of then it's Sabolks that is also out, and it looks to me like Mallow and Canovas. I don't know if they started. They don't show any lap times, which tells me that they either didn't start or they went out on lap 1, and that is not unusual to happen either. So we'll have to guess there for a little bit. Let's go check back on the progress of Javier Alvarez coming on to the oval section of the track here. He has closed in on Domingo a little bit more once again. He is now 1.6 seconds behind Domingo, and he's running about 4/10 of a second quicker. So we can see those differences here. If we bring this up, he is currently 1.5, and looks like he's keeping that fairly stable here in the curvy section. Obviously, you see the name of Kevin Shine there in front. That is the track position. That is not the race position that we're looking at there. Let's bring up those lap times. Domingo and Alvarez, it looks, as you can see here, lap number 10 through 14, Alvarez has gained on Domingo, and actually not by a whole lot, but it's a gain, and it's going to help him. It looks like Moric has an issue here. Let's go check out what happened to him. Lubomir Moric, ooh, he's trying to avoid a car that spun there. That looks like Mallow, and he gets it wrong, and he's kind of stuck on the grass there. You can see the wheels behind him spinning in the sand, and that means he needs to take a tow, and that is he can use that for his pit stop, obviously, but taking a tow, that is a costly endeavor. So Lubomir Moric is in trouble there. Dropping down the order, currently shown in 17th position. There you see the difference between Ilbrink and Domingo, the guys in front. It looks like Domingo is just a tad slower than Ilbrink here. Manuel Domingo brought Ilbrink on board as his teammate, as his first teammate opted out of the series due to other responsibilities, and he brought in Paul Ilbrink, and that looked to me like that's been a very good choice as far as the championship for the teams is concerned. Second place for Domingo, first place for Ilbrink. And then we see the difference here between Domingo and Alvarez. And it looks like Alvarez may have had a little bit of a hiccup with a back marker somewhere, as Domingo might be having now as we look at him coming by the grandstands here in Indianapolis. He takes that draft as long as he can keep it, and then passes the other car on the outside. The back markers are expected to give way to the leading cars in this series. So the last 2 laps were not the greatest for Alvarez. On lap 16, he was over a second slower than Domingo, so he's losing some of that time once again. Kevin Justino looks like he's in trouble here. Let's go check on him. There you have him. He gets it wrong, turning left a little bit too early on the gas and too wide of a race line there. Looks like he was on the dirty part of the track. Turns it around, waits until the others go by, tries to stay out of their way. That's Domingo and Ilbrink that you saw going by there, and that means that Alvarez is up next. It looks like Moric has finished his tow. He has taken his tires and his fuel, and he is back out on the way. He is currently shown in 20th position. There's your leader. And let's bring you back up live. We don't want to stay on delay too long. Ilbrink and Domingo's lap times there on the bottom. And let's bring back the difference between Alvarez and Domingo. And that was the one we just were looking at. And here we see that Alvarez has picked back up the pace again, and he gains another 0.3 of a second on Manuel Domingo, and the current distance is 2.4 seconds, so it is definitely something we need to be keeping an eye on. You're watching Manuel Domingo, and let's go check on Cedric Bill. He has been passed by Reinaldo Augusto, so Cedric Biel has dropped to the 5th position. Reinaldo Augusto has passed him, and guess who is coming up behind them? Fabio Do Carmo has not taken very long to go past Luciano Costa. He is in 7th position, so Do Carmo already back up into the 6th position. Cedric Bill now in 5th, behind Reinaldo Augusto. There you're looking at Bill, and in the background that is Do Carmo. So they're getting fairly close together here. Coming on to the oval part of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Oh, and it looks like Do Carmo is going into the pits here. Lap number 19, that's a fairly early pit stop, and he's probably thinking, if I get this out of the way early, I might have a cleaner track and I won't have to pass these cars on track. That could be a consideration for him here. So from the top guys, he is basically the first one that is coming into the pits. There you have him. The pit lane speed limit should be something like 55 kilometers an hour, maybe 60, and it is horridly slow when you're on the main straightaway at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and you hear all the other guys go by at speeds of 280 plus kilometers an hour. Do Carmo back in 9th position with his pit stop behind his belt. Let's go check back on Alvarez. 2.5 seconds behind Domingo. It looks like that distance is not really getting any narrower currently. 4.5 seconds behind Alvarez, we see Augusto. Then it's Cedric Bill, Luciano Costa, back in 6th position. Latuvet in 7th. Dave Gild is running in 8th. That is a good job for Dave. Fabio Do Carmo in 9th. Vincent Guyotot in 10th. Sam Winton hanging on to 11th position here in the 17 car. I believe the last race we had was his first attempt here in the series. And Latuvet now in the pit lane. So I'm not sure how these tires will be working this race. Whether the extra grip also means that they get a little extra wear. That is unclear at this point, but I'm kind of surprised by these guys coming into the pits fairly early. And that tells me that they are suffering a little bit with those tires. You're looking at Gregoire Richette in the 12th position. Then we see the number 88 of Hayren in the 13th position. Kevin Shine is hanging on to 14th. Luke Groom is in 15th in the number 37 car. Pinheiro is 16th in the number 20 car. De Biesing hanging on to 17th. Justino in 18th. Corey in 19th. And Lubomir Moric is currently in 20th position. He is the final running car with an unfortunate incident behind his belt. He's got his pit stop done, so that is he's obviously going to gain some of that back. Paul Ilbrink, your leader. Manuel Domingo, your 2nd place driver. Javier Alvarez, your 3rd place driver. And then it's Augusto, your 4th place driver. And Cedric Bill. Let's check on Fabio Do Carmo, has already passed Latuvet for the 8th position since his pit stop. And we're going to take another look here at Ilbrink, your leader. Doing a really, really good job. Last lap time was a 16.00. Through that final part of the curvy section here, another right-hand turn that'll bring him back out to the oval part of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One of the oldest racetracks, permanent racetracks in the world. Often nicknamed the Brickyard, as we heard. The original track was made of bricks, and I've read somewhere how many of them they needed, but it was quite a bit. And it looks like things have settled down quite well right here now. The field is starting to stretch out a little bit. Obviously, the leaders are dealing with back markers there. And in front of Ilbrink, oops, we see Dave Guild coming into the pits here. There's a bit of a nasty bump on the entrance there. You can see the cars kind of bouncing around on that. David Guild, off of 7th position, no less, has decided to come into the pits for his pit stop. Vincent Guyatot here in the 10th position. Let's go check on David. He's getting new tires, fuel, and he's ready to go back out. And it looks like he's only dropping back a few positions here. He's got about 30 seconds before Vincent Guyatot will pass him, so he's in 9th position. That means that Do Carmo picks up 7th position with his pit stop already being done. So he will be gaining quite a bit, it looks like, when the other guys, when the leaders will be going into the pits. Luciano Costa, is in 6th position. He's 24 seconds ahead of Fabio Carmo. Cedric Biel is still hanging on to stay there with Augusto, and that's not really going perfect because it's about 2 seconds now. He did gain quite a bit on Costa. De Biesing coming into the pits there. He is currently shown in 17th position. Let's go check on Alvarez. The distance to Domingo has grown to 2.9 seconds. So maybe the pit stops and the fresh rubber will help him out a little bit. There you have him. Nice livery on that car. Ooh, I hope he didn't get any slowdown there. He went off with all 4 wheels over that curb. Not sure if that's allowed by iRacing. Those kind of things, those kind of offs are basically ruled by iRacing itself. On the straightaway, obviously going the other way as the Indy cars. We are running clockwise as opposed to oval racing is done counterclockwise. There you have Alvarez into turn 1, and as you can see, that curb on the inside of turn 1 kind of narrows that turn down to a single lane curve. 3.7 seconds behind Alvarez. It's Reinaldo Augusto in the number 2 car doing a good job here once again. Always a top 5, top 10 driver so far in the series. Cedric Biel doing a great job in 5th position here. Costa in 6th in the famous Nelson Piquet livery and helmet. Fabio Do Carmo in the 7th position, and he is gaining on Costa, but it's still 23 seconds, so it's not going all that quick, but he's definitely quicker. Ooh, it looks like we had a bit of a freeze there. Let's go double check everything. Looks like we're in good shape. Le Touvet is in 8th position. Dave Guild in 9th. He's already had his pit stop. He's 5 seconds behind Le Touvet. Ooh, he's rough on those curves with that car. And it looks to me, if you're looking at the rear wing, he's running very low downforce, it looks like. We can check that if we take a look at his camera angle here. It looks like he's running that rear wing as flat as it will go. Kevin Shine coming into the pits currently. You see, ooh, he almost misses the pit entry there. Coming off of the 15th position, currently shown in 16th, getting ready for his tires and fuel. And Dave Guild, let's go back and check on him here. He likes to take those curbs. He's rough with that car, and that's just the way he drives it. And that's okay if you have it set up for that. Obviously, you can play around with shock absorbers, spring rates, and bottom clearance of the car, as well as wings settings. So most of these guys, they spend quite a good amount of time on the track before they get into races, and they have got it figured out as far as the car setup is concerned. Let's go check on Domingo. He is running Ilbrink on his old tires on lap 26. Just put in a 15.7. Domingo a 15.7. Alvarez a 15.9. These guys are really matched extremely evenly. Then it's Augusto with a 16.8. He's not that much slower. It just sounds slower because we say 16 instead of 15. Then it's Cedric Biel with a 16.6. Luciano Costa with a 16.4. I mean, Ducarmo is one of the quicker guys also, 15.57. Of course, he's on fresher tires. So I expect Ducarmo to still be a factor near the end of the race. Alright, let's go back and look a little further down the order. It looks like De Biesing is currently the final running driver in 20th position. He has been in the pits on lap 21. Kevin Shine is in front of him by about 20 seconds. Then it's Giustino in 18th. He has not pitted yet. Corey has pitted. Well, that was on lap 2, so he'll still have to come in. We see Vincent Guyato coming in the pits now. Out of, what is it, the top 10, I believe. There we have Cedric Biel following him into the pits on lap number 27. So I'm expecting all the top guys to not be waiting that much longer anymore. Like I said, it should be about 60 to 65% distance before the fuel runs out. Maybe even a little bit more. It depends on the track a little bit, but we have a lot of high-speed parts on this track. And it looks like Guyato is ready to go out, and Bill is going in here. Car being jacked up, getting tires and fuel. And Docarmo has just passed him. There you see Docarmo going into turn 1. So Docarmo picks up 6th position from Cedric Biel as Biel comes back out onto the track. Docarmo currently running the quickest lap time of the race, a 1:15.38. So his early pit stop was actually, the idea was that he would be on a clearer track, and that looks like that idea has been working. Not perfectly, but he's on a clear track now, and he gets to set some really fast lap times here. Sam Winton into the pits. He is in 10th position. And as far as the top drivers is concerned, it's Ilbrink, Domingo, Alvarez, Augusto, and Costa have not yet been in the pits. The top 5 drivers are still out there running lap times just under 115 or just over, just under 116 or just over. And Augusto also getting underneath that 116 on his final lap. And he's been there several times already. So all these guys are doing a really good job as far as lapping and lap times is concerned. Let's go check on Ilbrink here, your leader in the race. He's led from pretty much turn 1. Never looked back. The only ones that are looking back, that's us. And you can see that Domingo is not even within sight. And I believe that Ilbrink is getting ready to take his pit stop here. There you have him on the pit lane entry. And that means he is going to be passed by Domingo. There you saw Domingo on the right of your screen. There he goes. That's Domingo going towards turn 1. Alvarez going by there now. Ilbrink and Augusto both in the pits. They have about 12 seconds before Costa gets there. Ooh, Costa is back in the pits. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confused with Docarmo. Costa still needed his pit stop. I apologize. Luke Groom also in the pits. Carmo will be coming around here onto the main straightaway, and he's going to pick up a couple positions. And let's go see where Augusto is coming out. And it looks like Docarmo passes him on the entry of turn 1. Augusto is right behind him now. So Fabio Docarmo, with his first lap spin, is now back in the 4th position. And that brings him 11 seconds behind Ilbrink. That tells me that Domingo and Alvarez should be able to stay ahead of Docarmo but it will be close. So let's go check on, there is Alvarez going in. Domingo has passed the pit lane entry. Alvarez is in the pit lane, so it will be very interesting to see where Alvarez comes out as opposed to Do Carmo on the track. And we're going to keep an eye on that. Here you see Do Carmo coming through the final section of the infield. Here you see Alvarez still on his way into the pit box. Do Carmo now coming onto the oval track. Alvarez now coming to a pit stop. Do Carmo coming around the turn. Alvarez on his way out, but he needs... it's going to be close. It's not as close as I would have thought. Do Carmo is about to come into turn 1, and Alvarez is already through there. So there's about 3 seconds between these two guys now. That would not be impossible for Do Carmo to overcome because he is running fast lap times just like Alvarez. We have an incident for Richer. Let's go see what happened. Ooh, 2 wheels over the curb in the grass while you're on the gas, and that'll swing you around instantly. And it looks like he's still off and waiting for the track to clear so he can get back on safely. That is good sportsmanship. We appreciate that. Domingo still out there, lap 31. So yeah, that 65% was a little bit pessimistic, I believe. He is still out there, and he currently has 27 seconds on Ilbrink. And the idea for Manuel Domingo running laps of 1:15.6 and 1:15.5, that could be his chance to pass Paul Ilbrink for the lead purely on staying out there and running a bunch of fast lap times, as Ilbrink is a little bit heavier on fuel now, obviously. There you have Ilbrink running a 1:15.7 on his last lap. And that means that Domingo is in fact a little bit quicker, and if he does his pit stop right, he might just pick up the lead there. We'll have to wait and see. So Alvarez and Do Carmo, it looks like Do Carmo is gaining a little bit on Alvarez. It is now 2.5 seconds, and it was 3 as they left the pit, as Alvarez came back on track, I should say. Then it's Augusto in 5th, Cedric Biel in 5th, and it's Costa in 7th, Letouvet in 8th, Dave Gild in 9th, and Pinheiro in the 10th position. We have Guiteau and Winton fairly close together on the track, and we have Richat right closely behind Anthony Rain. Manuel Domingo is still out there. He still did not pit. Lap 32 of 42. Gaining, no, not gaining on Ilbrink. It's now down to 26.9. Ilbrink had a bit better lap there on his last one. 0.4 of a second quicker than Domingo. Ooh, and something must have happened. No. I'm looking at Do Carmo here, and he is gaining on Alvarez, but not quickly. Aaron Corey into the pits. You see that hump there at the entry of the pit lane. Give him a bit of a jump. And there we see Manuel Domingo coming into the pits. We're going to keep an eye on that and see where he comes back out. The leader of the race into the pit lane, lap 33. Paul Ilbrink will be picking up that lead here shortly. He comes onto the oval section of the track right now. So this is going to get close. Domingo coming into the pits. Ilbrink coming around the last turn here into the main straightaway. You can see him on the right side of your picture there. And let's see. He picks up the lead, and it's actually not as close as I would have thought. It looks like he ran some very quick laps there, picking up about a 7-second lead, it looks like, while Domingo is having to deal with, not sure who that was. Nope, going the wrong way. That was Pinheiro that he lapped on the exit of the pits. Hayren in the pits. Not sure if that's his first stop. So Paul Ilbrink just brings it right back where he started on the first position after his pit stop. He's got more than 7 seconds on Domingo, and it looks like Alvarez is closed in on Domingo. It is about 1.8 seconds. You see the red car there going out of your picture. That is Alvarez in third with Do Carmo right behind him. There's a back marker in between there. We have an issue for Kevin Shine. That is turn 1. We've seen him go off there. That's the same issue he's having. He takes that curb too hard, and as the bottom of the car scrapes over the end of that curb, he loses traction and loses control of the car. Justino back out of the pits. Hayron still in the pits. Let's go check on Domingo. 7.2 seconds. Ooh. Had a little bit of a connection moment there. David Guild out on the final section of the track here. Doesn't seem to be hitting anything, and he gets back underway. Alright, so we had a few connection issues there. Let's go double check if everything is still running the way it's supposed to. I do believe so. Richet back into pits. That is probably his first pit stop, not sure. And Vincent Guyato and Sam Winton both have an offs. I do believe they're separate. Let's go check on Guyato here. Yeah, he loses it under the throttle and turns it around. Ooh, get out of the way. And then Winton had an issue here as well. Let's go see what happens to him. Ooh, he just overshoots that turn 2, misses his braking points, slams it into the tire barriers. Car should be able to handle that. I do believe the right front part of his wing looks a little bit bent up. We can try to check on that as we see the front end of his car coming by. Yeah, that right front wing is a little bit bent up. So Sam's still back on his way. He's in 12th position. Let's go check on our buddy David Guild here. 9th position. Hanging on. And I do believe he... You can't help but wonder if he doesn't regret that wing setting being so extremely low, because he gets in trouble in that curvy section on the infield there quite a bit. Not this man, Paul Ilbrink, running behind De Biesing here. De Biesing is a back marker. Ooh, gets it wrong and luckily doesn't get in front of Paul there. There you have him. That would be a nasty way to take out the leaders if you're trying to make way and then you miss your corner and slide in front of him. Let's go check back on Alvarez. 1.6 seconds. He's getting around De Biesing now on the oval part of the track here. Purely on speed going by there. It's Do Carmo that's following there, trying to get a draft from De Biesing to get him closer to Alvarez. That's how you do that stuff. And it looks like Do Carmo is gaining on Alvarez. He is now less than a second behind Alvarez, your championship leader. There he is right in front of you. And ahead of that is Manuel Domingo. I do believe that is him. Only one. No, that can't be him. That's too close. Yep, no, that is Domingo right there in front of Alvarez. So these guys are closing in on each other. Really looking very smooth here. And there we go. And there's a back marker in front of Domingo. Looks like that would be Justino probably. We can check on the rear wing. Do Carmo running a lot more wing, as you can tell from Dave Guild. There they go towards, it looks like Do Carmo staying on that higher side there. And Do Carmo has passed Alvarez there purely on speed. Let's bring that back for you. Just coming off the turn here. It looks like he's using that DRS. He's catching the draft and he's swinging to the left there. Alvarez staying nicely to the right, trying to tuck back in to catch that draft as well, and try back again on turn 1. But like I said, that is a one-lane turn there, and it looks like Do Carmo has picked up 3rd position here. And as he did so, he ran the quickest lap of the race, a 1:15.24. That is an amazingly fast lap. That is 3/10 of a second faster, almost 3/10 of a second faster than Domingo's best lap. So Do Carmo in 3rd now. The distance between Ilbrink and Domingo is remaining about the same, 7.2, 7.3 seconds. And the distance between Domingo and Do Carmo looks like that is shrinking just a little bit. There you have him. And Alvarez is still right there. We see Pinheiro coming into the pits. I'm fairly sure that would be regular service. Paul Ilbrink now counter-attacking with a fastest lap here. 1:15.3 going by Kevin Shine. 1:15.23. That's 100th of a second quicker than Do Carmo's best lap time. So he's doing... He's not stopping for anything, it doesn't look like. Ooh. Oh, what is happening here? That is Reinaldo Augusto. Let's bring that back for you. That is a back marker. And I'm not... Ooh, and there's just a misunderstanding of which side to take there. And the back marker, that would be Gregoire Richet. That is very unfortunate for Reinaldo Augusto because it drops him back. Costa going by him. Oh, Augusto getting it wrong once again. What happens here? He gets back on track. And as he does so, he just... I don't know what happens there. That could be a hardware issue. It looks like he just either throttled way too hard and slid the wrong way. He's taking a tow to the pits, and hopefully he can get that thing back on track again. Let's go check back on Fabio Do Carmo, who is now less than a second behind Manuel Domingo. He's not done for the day. He bettered the best lap time once again with a 1:15.05. I think it's going to be a matter of time before they're going to get into the 1:14s here on race conditions, and that is just blazingly fast. We're on lap 39 already, so we have 3 laps to go. 4 laps to go, 3 laps after this one, and it looks like he is gaining on Domingo, and he's going to try to do that. He wants second. He wants to split those guys, the radical online racers. He wants to split them up. 0.6 of a second now. They're right behind each other. Let's see that here from the car of Do Carmo. And he's inching towards there. He could be on his push to pass. He might still have some. He's inching towards there. I don't think he'll be close enough this lap, but he might be next lap if he can keep this up. Paul Ilbrink running a 1:15.00. This is amazing. And Fabio Do Carmo running a 1:15.01. Quicker than Domingo. So let's keep our eyes here on Do Carmo and Domingo. That is the battle for second position. While Dave Guild has had an off once again. Ooh, missed his corner there. We've seen him do that before. Back marker's going to be the issue here maybe. Do Carmo right behind Domingo. Oh, and they're both having to deal with multiple back markers here. That could really make a difference. They can't get out of the way fast enough. That's David Guild. Beautifully done from David, leaving these guys the room to race. Do Carmo now right on the tail end of Domingo, and that's for the second position. Meanwhile, Ilbrink brings that best lap up once again by probably a couple of thousandths of a second, because I can't even tell the difference on my scoring. Domingo and Do Carmo, there we have him. That is on the main straightaway. Do Carmo is being forced to the outside by Domingo. Can he do it? Domingo still in front. And he can't get around there. Lap 41. They're going to get the white flag next time by, so there's not much time left for Del Carmo, but I will tell you, that is an amazing race this man drove here. Being spun around, or not being spun around, but having spun around in turn 1, and then he comes back into the race fighting for the second position on the final laps here. We see David Guild having another issue. Oh, he's being punted in the back there by Morich. Ooh, not nice. There we have them once again, close together. Final section of the infield track here, Domingo and Del Carmo. Coming off the final turn, they're going to get the white flag when they come by the grandstands. Ooh, a little bit more distance now. Does Del Carmo still have that push to pass left? Let's bring that back on the roll bar. He's inching towards there once again. Domingo taking a defensive line on the inside. And Del Carmo is not able to get it close enough. He's going to try the inside now, but he's not close enough. The white flag is out. Oh my goodness. Del Carmo punts the Domingo in the back there. Let's look at that again. Just a little bit difference in speed there. Domingo being turned around by Del Carmo, and that means that Alvarez has gone by and picks up third position. That might be something the people want to talk about. Javier Alvarez in the third position, and let's go check on your leader here. Paul Ilbrink, a couple of back markers in front of him. He's on the final stretch here. He is going to be bringing it home in first position. Once again, 3 out of 3. Paul Ilbrink in the eFormulaSeries. Somebody is happy that he brought him along. I can tell you that. That would be Manuel Domingo, his teammate. Paul Ilbrink picks up the win. Then it's Fabio Del Carmo in second position. A little bit controversial finish there. Javier Alvarez is in third position. And then we have Manuel Domingo bringing it home still in the fourth position. Cedric Bill is in fifth. Costa coming around here, and he's going to pick up sixth position. Letouvet in seventh. Morich is in 8th, and what happened to Dave? It looks like Dave is not... Oh, he's already finished. And then it's Luke Groom in 10th. All right, let's go find your leader here on his victory lap, coming back around the racetrack, Paul Ilbrink. And that was one unfortunate final lap there for Manuel Domingo. It looked like he saved his position there on the coming into the turn 1 of the final lap, and then unfortunately they touched. And I'm not suggesting that there was an intentional attempt here to take him out, but it's unfortunate that it happens when you race close. That's the things that can happen, obviously. All right, folks, there you have it, your final results here. Paul Ilbrink, the winner. Del Carmo, Alvarez, Domingo, Cedric Biel, Luciano Costa, Letouvet, Morich, Guild, and Groom, your top 10 finishers. Let's go find some people to talk to if we can. And let's see, we have... nobody in the interview room just yet. Might have to bring him in myself. Paul Ilbrink, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Hey, we're getting to know each other pretty good here. That's 3 out of 3, and I don't believe you ever set a foot wrong here, man. Your fastest lap time was a 1:15.00, and you put that up there right at the end of the race. I mean, what's the secret?
Well, uh, I don't know. I kind of
Y-
disappointed you, I guess, by not making a big mistake this time. Like, I made a couple small ones, but like,
Yeah,
it
you,
was
you, you told
okay.
me
But
last time you were going to try to keep it interesting and making mistakes to kind of have the other ones have a shot at you, but you didn't today. It went really well, Paul. It was fun to watch. It looked like when you took your pit stop a little bit earlier, it looked like your teammate was staying out there running a few very fast laps. Were you worried that he was going to close in on you by pitting later?
uh, not really that he would close in, but I didn't know if he was going to take tires as well. So I was a little bit worried about the track position, but not so much that like I had so much DRS left as well that I wasn't like that worried to like see my win gone or something. But yeah, it was certainly interesting. But it seemed the last couple of laps were quite interesting as well because I saw quite a couple position changes behind me.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure you didn't see the exact thing that happened, but it looked like Domingo Manuel was holding off Domingo in turn one, and between that short little between turn 1 and 2, it looked like they touched there, and Domingo got worse off of that. I'm sure there's going to be some words spoken about that. I don't want to pass judgment here, but let's concentrate on your race here. Basically, so far in our series, you've just basically been a dominant force here, and that doesn't mean it's boring, not at all, because it's still. I mean, you still have to do it. It's not like you do it sleeping. You have to still be on the ball and keep your focus and all that. So congratulations once again on a great win, Paul. We follow you around on the official tracks as well. It looks like you've been doing really well there as well. So keep it up, my friend.
Thanks.
Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out there tonight?
Yeah, of course, my teammate Manuel. Shame that he didn't hang on to the podium in the end, but we'll do better next time, I guess. And you guys for doing the broadcast, and the guys for organizing this league, and of course my teammates at Red Gulls Online, and our partners and sponsors: Cramfield Simulation, Arma Centrum, Track Racer, Joel Real Timing, Turn Racing, the MOATF Podcast, Six Sideways, and Pixel Dust.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul, and we'll see you again next time, man.
Right, thanks.
All right, folks, let's see if we can find Javier or Fabio. I can find Fabio, but his mic's not on. Fabio Do Carmo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, there you are, sir. That was an eventful race for you. Lap 1, it went wrong. What happened?
Well, I guess I was just trying to be, can I say this, too much careful into the first corner. I braked too early. The guys behind me got ahead, and I hit the curb real hard, and I spun. Fortunately, I was able to recover. I went through the field again to finish second. I'm just a little disappointed with myself for hitting Manuel. I apologized to him a few times, but he's really mad at me, and he won't take my apology. But I guess this is racing. He was trying hard to defend. He went wide and lose a lot of momentum into the turn one, and I wasn't expecting him to be so slow on corner exit, so I kind of hit him. Actually, it wasn't that cold. It wasn't even contact counting to me, but that's iRacing thing, and also my responsibility to be a little bit far away from him in this situation. I apologize to him again, but that's racing.
Well, yes, I will agree with you there. I mean, the way I looked at it, it's I don't believe anything intentional happening here, but that's just the result of a very close battle for the lead for the second position there, and obviously you wanted it pretty bad, and he wanted it pretty bad, and both of you just basically running on the limit there. So but from his point of view, obviously disappointing, and I'm sure there will be some words spoken after the race with the race control maybe. But anyway, Fabio, you basically already said it yourself. You worked your way through the field. We saw some great passing you did there. You ran the quickest lap of the race several times. At the end, Paul took it away from you, but still, you were blazingly fast through there. Did you have a lot of trouble with back markers?
Yeah, I did. There were a few of them that were actually fighting for positions. So I see their side as well. I know that it's hard sometimes to pay attention on the blue flags while you're still fighting for your own position. So sometimes it gets hard. So I understand. I got in a few difficult situations with back markers here. But the track is awesome for overtaking, so I guess it was well balanced in the end.
Okay, all right. Fabio. Once again, congratulations on a great finish. I'm sure between you and Domingo, some words will be spoken. You tried to apologize. You made it very clear there was nothing intentional going on. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out there here tonight?
Yeah, sure. Big shout out to my wife, my lovely wife. Love her very much. My two little girls, Sophia and Julia, my beloved daughters. Love you them as well. And a big thanks to you guys for the broadcast and for this amazing series.
Thank you very much, Fabio. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. Take care.
Javier, third place. Got a little lucky at the end there.
Yeah, very lucky and sorry for Manuel because he deserved the podium. I was totally lost in the last laps because I met a backmaker and my car was damaged. But I am very sorry for Manuel. He deserved the podium today, but it is racing. Congrats to Paul, 3 in a row, amazing. And Fabio today had an amazing pace. Congratulations, Fabio.
Yeah, it definitely did, absolutely, and it looked like you kept up with the two leaders there for quite some time, and at times you were gaining a little bit on Manuel Domingo as well. And you said you had damage on your car. How did that happen?
Well, I got damaged 3 laps to the end or 2 laps to the end. There were Well, I was catching Manuel and I saw Fabio coming from behind very fast. So I decided to not to fight with Fabio. So I took his raft and we approached Manuel. I knew that Fabio and Manuel would fight, and then I wanted to be there close. But when we were lapping a couple of cars, in the main straight, Manuel and Fabio could overtake them. I wait one more lap, so I lost the draft of Fabio definitely. Fortunately, Kevin gave me the position so I could pass him in the straight. But then the other car was in the slow zone, and he changed the. I don't know if he lost the car. He changed the driving line or whatever. But then. We crashed, and then from them my laps were 1.18, so three seconds slower. But
yeah,
fortunately,
yeah. Well, you got a little lucky as a compensation. You got a little lucky with Domingo being turned around there, and you still picked up the podium position. It looks like I can't calculate the points quick enough, but it looks like that lead is going to be under threat from Paul Ilbrink with 3 out of 3 races here. You've been here every race. What is your plan for the next one? How are we going to counterattack and break that dominance?
Okay, unfortunately, I had to go to holidays and I will probably miss the next 2 races. That was something that I knew at the start of the championship, so I wanted work for Lubomir, but Lubomir has had a lot of bad luck in the championship. So let's see. Maybe I have shorter holidays and return soon, and let's see.
Racing is more important than sitting on a campground, dude.
Absolutely.
All right, Javier, thank you very much, my friend. Congratulations on another podium finish. Is there anybody you want to thank or shout out to tonight?
Yeah, sure. First of all, you for the broadcast because it's really something good added value to the competition. Also, the organizers. Thank you for the webpage for all the effort, and my team, particularly Lubomir, because he has been working quite hard these weeks and he has been pulling from me. But all the team positives in racing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javier. You have a great night. All right, folks, there you have it. That is your podium finishers, Paul Ilbrink, Fabio Do Carmo, and Javier Alvarez. And as said, Paul Ilbrink bringing it home in the first position once again. 3 out of 3. He looks like he is a dominant factor here, the Dutch driver. We kind of made a deal last time that he would try to throw in a little bit mistake there to keep it interesting. This time he was pretty much perfect. He says just a few small mistakes, but no major threat to his position. Then it's Fabio Do Carmo with a first lap spin, bringing himself back through the field all the way back up to third at the end of the race, and then fighting hard for the second position with Manuel Domingo. Unfortunately, a little bit of a difference in speed between turns 1 and 2, and that resulted into a touch where Fabio actually suggested it might have been netcode. I'm not sure about that. I will stay out of judgment here. I don't believe he did anything on purpose. It's just close racing and hard racing for position, and every once in a while you just get the short end of the stick. It was lucky for Javier Alvarez. We heard him talk about it. He had some damage on those final 3 laps, bringing his lap times way down to 1:18, and then Manuel had a little trouble getting back on the track quickly, so Alvarez picked up that third position, and that is good work for him in the championship standings, albeit that family vacation is going to keep him away from us for a little bit. I'm sorry to hear that. We love having everybody around here fighting for that championship. The next race, folks, will be at the Road America track in Wisconsin, and that is going to be a fast and furious race. Road America is a very fast and long sweeping track with a few very fast corners, a famous carousel corner that catches people off guard. It is a good track for overtaking, I believe, because it has long straights with turns at the end of them that are fairly tight. So the Road America promises to be an interesting race also for this car. As we follow the iRacing schedule, we have a lot of North American tracks in this season, but they're all, in my point of view, very good tracks that make for some really good racing. We hope to see you there in Road America 2 weeks from today, same time, different place. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you did, hit the like button and the subscribe button and check us out some more. We do a lot more American series here as well. Thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see you next time.